Osiris, Pharaoh's, becomes Sirius, alchemy, magic, Deltron, the government, imagination, mind, world crafting, word crafting, the holographic universe, love, but like I said, Osiris, gods. See, this earth realm is seeded through ourselves, seeded through the mind. So in order to grow out of here, you literally have to become God. And this is about realizing that you are the power that lies within. You are the mind. You don't have a body. You just have a soul. You just have a black and a white light, as you can see here. And if you fuse that together, you start to mirror that out. You start to shine it out. And I know how powerful I am. I know that. But I do it for the empowerment. I do it for the mind. Because it was already encoded in you. But you are looking outside of your temple. You are looking outside of your mind, in your environment, in your environment. See, this is how you were doing the virus to yourself, because I was going out and I was trying to find it outside of me, when all I was perceiving was my own skull. I was perceiving my own brain. This is in holograph, this is a delusion, this is a shadow projection of myself. Because I have these attachments over here that I mirror myself to overcome them. Now I realize that I live in a delusion, in a delusion of self. So to get out of here, I tolerate these things, I take care about my alchemy, I appreciate everything which is presented to me, because it's all me. This is what stress is, melanin, the importance of stress. And basically then you start to realize that it's just a delusion, it's just a holograph. Nothing is really there. Because all these diet things, as they already spelled it to me, it's deity. So that means in order to get out of this thing here, I become God. And it has nothing to do with showing off or something. But how else would I just realize what it is? Of course I am God. Of course. Because every God that I pray to was in myself in the first place. And this gets into Bobby Hammond's work, the subconscious mind. And you know, all these characters that I just mentioned are parts of me that I mirror out to teach me something. Now I just put that into this box here to manifest that into the grid. But there is no other consciousness than my own. So either it is all me, or I am at the Akashic records, which I can go into and pull things out and represent them to you. That's what I do. This is why I'm so powerful. But you know, in the end, what do I do? What do I do? I sit on my chair here listening to Deltron speaking about crazy things which were already in you. That's the absurd thing. Because our ancestors live inside of us. They're in me. They're in you. Where else should they be? See, and all the pharaohs, I wrapped the whole history up for you. It's his story, so that means it's the story of somebody else. It's basically unimportant to you. But if you would go back in time, that you emit basically from your navel, from your novel, which is your story, which is your mastery, then you would understand that the Orions, which we are now in, have to master ether. Now, the future races have to master the astral plane and the mind. But if you would understand it, it basically goes like this, or it goes in a circle, because we were coming in the first place from the Polarians, from the pole, which is the spine. So the Polarians speak from the spine, speak from the mind, which is the school, which is the skull, which sits on top of the spine. So this is where you get your phallus or your penis also from, which Osiris lost it, and Isis tried to give it back to him, the golden phallus, which is talking about looping yourself, which is talking about urine. Now, then you would understand that the Polarians were going down into a denser form, which is the Lemurians. So then the Lemurians transferred into the Hyperborean race, and the Hyperborean race transferred into the Atlanteans. Now then the Atlanteans, basically, this is where we get the Kemets from. The Atlanteans invaded, or they were going to Egypt, I don't know if they invaded them. So this is where we get this Pharaoh Osiris knowledge from. So basically the mind power. And then if we go, now the whole history starts to become a bit more into the mainstream, which gets into yoga, India, you know, Kalarippayattu, which maybe not many people have heard from, then which is one of the first martial arts. Then of course yoga, and then as Bodhidharma was going through Asia, or over the Himalayas into Asia, then there are all these inner and these outer martial arts originated from, which we're talking always about Qi, which is inner Qi, which is imagination, which is magic. So this is basically what's going on there in Asia. And then we have this, Middle Ages, and all this knowledge was getting lost in the Middle Ages. And you know, all these secret societies were always talking about the sacreds, the elixirs, which is, urine. That's it, because it's always your own body, it's always your own mind. See, and this now we get this World War I, World War II, the germs, the sproutings, the Aryans, right, which are coming from the air, which have to master ether. Now we get into the internet, the Ethernet, Wi-Fi, this whole 5G, 6G, 7G, whatever. This is how that works. And then we will get into, now we have the spirituality thing, which is talking about the astral body and everything. So we have to master the astral things. And now, then, from there on, now this root race is basically, which also Helena Blavatsky said, was seeding in California. Now, if you would go back a few videos that I produced a few months back, I think 7 months or something, I was talking about the root races already, and Kundalini, which basically means all these root races are an inner transformation inside of your own self, inside of me, in this holographic mirror. And then Helena Blavatsky also said that they will seed in California, which now we have a lot of spiritual people over there in California. And now they will master the astral plane, and then we have basically the last stage, which is talking about mind. So this is also the connection to the Polarians again in the very first beginning, speaking from the spine, speaking from the source, speaking from your magic, speaking from your imagination, which is seeding your feeling in your area, which is talking about your government. So you govern your own state, which is basically what Deltron is saying in here, that it is all just a virus in yourself or in the skull basically, which is talking about parasites, which is pair of sides. So you have to choose left wing, right wing. So is it the left hemisphere or the right hemisphere? So if you decide, you split up. So if you split up, it's always one specific thing versus the other. And that's basically this whole misconception thing when we have left and right and up and down. But it's always speaking from the pole, speaking from the source, speaking from the North Pole. And the further you go down from the North Pole into the South Pole, which is basically speaking about going down into your sexual organs, into your root chakras. And your root chakras are basically where all these, it's not per se a bad thing because this is where your power originates from. But you have to transfer that into your skull basically to pump your semen or eggs up into your brain to get enlightened. And then you start to see, well, this shit here is literally just the matrix. That's what you're going to see in the end. It is in the delusion. So what you mirror yourself out is what you have inside of your brain. That's you are going to see, because these two eyes are fooling. Your senses are just mirroring out how it looks inside of you in your own inner soul, in your inner light. So this is where you get gray matter from. The grays, the aliens, I'm already an alien because I fused black and white together. That's how I become gray. Now I'm not from this plane anymore. I'm Osiris. I'm a god. I know how this works because I mirror only the things out that are deep in my own subconscious mind, which is basically the iceberg. The iceberg is what I'm mirroring out. This is how this whole reality works. It's all me, nothing else. See, 30 minutes in and I was just telling you complete mankind history. Tour. And now the plate is finished. All right, Osiris, I love you. Bye-bye.